has come. The big orange couch is in place. So hop on and
Nick, Nickelodeon, SNICK. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is another awesome episode of PodPast, and tonight we're going to be talking about SNICK, everything SNICK. And if you don't know what SNICK is, it stands for Saturday Night Nickelodeon. The greatest.
If you don't know what SNICK is, then get the fuck out.
Exactly. Oh my God, SNICK.
Like
we'll talk about it here.
If they don't know, we can always present them with an opportunity to learn.
No. This is This is an elitist group. This is an elitist podcast. If you don't know, move along.
Absolutely. But we'll talk about SNICK here in a second, like we do at the beginning of every show. I am Jordan, along here with Brother Brandon.
Brother Brandon here.
And best friend Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, just like I was excited about, we're talking about SNICK. The greatest thing ever, maybe? Right? SNICK was badass.
It definitely was something that that really helped, nurture the growing kid in the 90s.
Oh, my God, right? I mean, like, SNICK had everything that a 90s kid wanted. There are so many things I want to talk about before we actually get into the show of SNICK, but if you're listening to the show and you have no idea what the hell SNICK is, so you have Nickelodeon, the channel that everybody knows, and from 92 till about the early 2000s, mid-2000s, they had something called SNICK, which was Saturday Night Nickelodeon, and it was a two and a half hour block of primetime shows, their primetime shows. It could be cartoons, it could be live action, and it was the greatest two and a half hours that...
I think it was actually an hour and a half.
Was it only an hour and a half?
I thought it was a 2-hour block.
Was it 2? Is it like from 8 to 10?
Yeah.
Or 8 to 9:30?
I thought it was 8 to 10.
8 to 10, yeah, 8 to 10 because the last show was at 9:30, so it ended at 10.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So, SNICK was just something where they played the primetime stuff. Stuff that was not on Nickelodeon on a daily basis, just only on Saturday night. That was our TGIF, right? Because remember when we were growing up on ABC, they always said TGIF, thank God it's Friday.
TGIF. Oh, yeah.
I still watch the shit out of TGIF.
Well, because we're almost, I'm 30, you guys are almost 30. That's why.
My wife and I back when I was a teenager during the summers, because I didn't really do a whole lot. I was a homebody. I still am a homebody. TBS, the Superstation, would run 4-hour blocks. You would have a 2-hour block of Step by Step and a 2-hour block of Family Matters. Oh. And I watched those a lot.
Family Matters was a big deal.
Yeah. I was probably the only person under the age of 45 at one point that had a crush on Suzanne Summers.
Nice.
God bless it. So, before we get into the actual SNICK, I was bringing this up to Brother Brandon tonight. So, I was on YouTube, and I was scouring YouTube today about all things SNICK. And there was something that I discovered, and because it's, October, we might as well talk about it. But in the 90s, during SNICK, they had something called Nick or Treat. Do you guys remember this at all?
No.
No.
So I remember this one. So what Nick or Treat was it was a telephone contest, really. And what happened was they promoted that the day before Halloween and the day of Halloween, the people of Nickelodeon will be calling random kids throughout the country, and you have to answer the phone, Nick or Treat. And if you say Nick or Treat and it's Nickelodeon on the other line, then you get a year free subscription to Nickelodeon magazine, T-shirts, so on and so forth.
Could you go to the Nickelodeon Studios, the Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida?
No, but I've been there twice, and
That
it was
that would have been badass to watch a live episode of Double Dare as they recorded it.
I never saw, so in 1995, 94, 95, I went down to Universal Studios with my family for Easter vacation, and we went to the Nickelodeon Studios down there. And the coolest thing for me, because I didn't see much stuff, but I saw a live cutout of Stick Stigley.
Oh, nice.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry. Fuck you, Stick Stigley. I'm 30 years old. I wrote you that letter 25 years ago. What the shit? You haven't responded.
Well, he probably threw it away because it was all chicken scratch and just like every word was spelled incorrectly.
Well, I will tell you my Universal thing, and I'll go back to Stick Stigley for a second, and then we'll go into SNICK. The Universal thing was cool because they took us on kind of like a train ride, kind of like a trolley. And we got a tour of the set of Carissa Explains It All. And it was, the scene in the show in every episode where her next door neighbor, who was a boy, would always climb up to her room in a ladder. So
Ferguson.
we got the chance to see that.
Ferguson was her brother.
Oh, Ferguson was the brother. The boy next door was...
I don't remember the boy next door. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I can't tell you the last time I even watched anything like that. Only the cartoons are the only things I've been keeping up with.
Right. And going off of Nickelodeon, but again, this is all about SNICK, is Stick Stigley was like the kid version of TRL. Between so many hours after school, Stick Stigley was your host. It literally was a popsicle stick with googly eyes. And I can't say it with a straight face. And he was the host of the show. And every segment of the show is he would read letters of kids that wrote into Stick Stigley. And he would read the letter, and the letter would be, please play my favorite episode of such ever show. My favorite episode of the Rugrats was when they all played chocolate milk football during the Super Bowl. Mm. And it's been 25 years, and I'm still waiting, so... Not cool, Stick Stigley.
Is that why you turned into a life of alcohol and tobacco use?
You may have to find him somewhere in a dusty drawer.
My personal life choices does not reflect.
You telling me you weren't so disappointed with Stick Stigley, Sir Stigley, that you were driven?
That's funny. So anyway. So tonight we're going to talk about SNICK, everything SNICK. We have lineups here. So I'm going to go with the question first, and this may be a hard question, but best friend Ryan, did you have a favorite show for SNICK that you watched religiously when it came on?
Not really. I think I think the closest I ever came was Keenan and Kel. Maybe all that, but I can remember not being a fan of, might have been in 2002 or 2003 when they started, they got a whole new cast, there's no holdovers, and I remember the episode, Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle, which was a good show. It was his job to find all of the new cast members, and I thought it was just really stupid. And I might have been, I don't know, 2002, 2003. But, yeah, I never had, a show, because I know there's a lot of people that hold, Are You Afraid of the Dark and The Adventures of Pete in high esteem. And I've seen those. I don't really remember a whole lot of them. But I think Keenan and Kel might be the one I watched the most.
Brother Brandon, what about yourself, buddy?
Well, the time that I started watching SNICK, I think just reruns were still going. But, Ren and Stimpy, of course. Kablam was a big one for me. I loved Kablam. And then probably about the late 90s is when they started doing more cartoons. That's when I really got into the Angry Beavers. Cat Dog I was so-so with. But like Ryan, too, all that, Keenan and Kel. I pretty much the entire lineup. But if I had to choose one, physically choose one that was just impressive to me, it was Kablam. Just because it almost felt like, even though I didn't know the term back then, like imagining it now, it felt very student. Like some kid. I almost imagine like some kid did it in his backyard and submitted it to Nickelodeon, and I was like, oh shit, I could do that too. Especially when you get to segments like Prometheus and Bob, it just looks like someone just did it with a fucking colored pencil, and I was like, I could do that.
Speaking of which, if anybody wants to watch Prometheus Bob episodes, just go to YouTube. All the episodes are on YouTube. Check them out. For me, it was the whole damn thing. I don't know why it was a big. Guys, it's kind of cloudy here because I am 30, but I'm going to say from 94 to 97, I would bleed orange. Like, Nickelodeon was the only thing that mattered. I had a subscription to Nickelodeon magazine. I was all about Smell-O-Vision when it was pronounced with SNICK. I was every time the phone would ring during Halloween, I would say "Nick or treat," and it would be my dad or grandparents.
I wouldn't say that phrase so quickly. You might want to enunciate.
I was going to bring that up in the show. That's actually a controversy. That's why they stopped saying it, because when you say it fast, it sounds like something really terrible. So they stopped doing the Nick or treat segments. But no, it was this Nickelodeon was just such a big deal for me. But then when they came out with SNICK, it was why I think Nickelodeon and SNICK did such a good job for my age group is just because it was every show was aimed towards my age at that time, and it was my Saturday night of anything SNICK. I'm going to the first lineup here, and the first lineup was in 1992 all the way to 1993, and the order was Clarissa Explains It All, Roundhouse, Ren and Stimpy, and Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, the one show, what do you think, what one show do you think sticks out like a sore thumb in this?
Roundhouse.
That's Roundhouse, yeah.
Really? I was going to say Ren and Stimpy, because even outside of the adult hour, Ren and Stimpy was always, even though I loved it, I always, as I got older, I was like, man, tonally, this cartoon almost does not fit with the rest of SNICK. It's so gross, and even when it's not in the adult hour, it's just, there's something about it that's so off that I love it. It's not as off as in like Beavis and Butthead was to MTV, but compared to everything else in the original SNICK lineup, it almost feels so out of place.
That's actually a good point, because you look at the lineup here, I would argue that Ren and Stimpy is probably more hardcore than Are You Afraid of the Dark? And usually when they have this promotional block TV lineup, the hardcore show is always the last. But Are You Afraid of the Dark is always the show that ends it. Do you guys notice that? It's because Ren and Stimpy was third out of the four. You would think that they would do Are You Afraid of the Dark and then Ren and Stimpy. But no, screw you kids. We're going to get you scared and go to bed, and you're going to have nightmares to wake up your parents all night. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't remember much of the lineup. Like I said, I didn't really. At the time that you mentioned, I'm only 2 or 3 years old, so of course I'm not watching it. I didn't come in till, like I said, late '97, and that's when the lineup was drastically different from what I remember other people telling me. Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark still ended it when I was watching it, but when I started it, that's when Kenan and Kel and all that was really prevalent and started taking over too. Especially since I think that was, I want to say mid to late '90s is also when SNL, that whole cast with Will Ferrell and everybody, that was when it was huge again. Saturday Night Live was big, so I'm thinking that was also Nickelodeon's answer. Hey, let's make a kids version of SNL.
Well, see, now this gets crazy since you said that. So in 92 to 93, I was saying the big four, Clarissa, Roundhouse, Ren and Stimpy, and Are You Afraid of the Dark. But then in 94, we got, in this order, Clarissa, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, Ren and Stimpy, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then they ended at 10 o'clock, so it was a 2.5-hour block. They ended it with Roundhouse.
Interesting.
See, I don't even remember what Roundhouse was about.
Isn't it a Western show?
Well, I thought
No.
they had like Hey Dude was their Western show. But
Hey Dude was
Hey
the Western.
yeah.
did that air on SNICK?
I thought it
Hey
did.
Dude, maybe the later, because there's like a later portion where like I think the end of SNICK era actually goes till like almost mid 2000s, like 2003 or 4. That's where like the SNICK era ends.
Okay.
So maybe it appeared there.
Because I remember Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts. Was Salute Your Shorts on SNICK? Because
No.
I didn't look it up. I don't remember all the shows that were on
Brother
there.
Brandon told me that Salute Your Shorts is not a part of SNICK. It never was.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just actually part of just the regular Nickelodeon lineup.
Roundhouse, I'm going to read these few, it's very short, it's like 2 sentences, but each episode revolved around the Annie family and their problems with daily life. The half-an-hour show, taped in front of a visible live audience, was broken up into sketches, dance
so like
sequences,
Hee-Haw.
and
Okay.
musical performances by cast members and house bands.
Yeah, so it was almost like a Nickelodeon version of Hee Haw then.
Pretty much.
Yep, I do not remember that at all.
When I got into this, and this is where I'm going to talk majority, and hopefully we will too, 94 is when SNICK became SNICK, essentially. This is when the orange couch was introduced. The big orange couch.
Yeah.
This was all about, so this was the lineup from 8 to 9:30. All that, Roundhouse, Ren and Stimpy, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay.
All that was the greatest fucking show ever. You had Pizza Face. That was amazing. You guys remember
There was a lot
Pizza
of-
Face?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of great segments to come out of all that.
You had Keenan and Kel do the chocolate cooking episodes on all that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
they had. I remember they had Chris Farley come in for one of those. He was the special
He
guest
did.
chef. Yeah, like right before.
Yeah.
he
And then
died.
they, of course, Keenan and Kel did Good Burger, which they made
Yeah.
a movie of.
I always liked
that was
Vital
great.
Information.
Oh yeah.
The
Vital information.
vital information for your everyday life.
Yeah,
I've always been attracted to the anti-humor stuff that people seem to do.
Well, that's your personality.
Wasn't there? There was also the Adventures of Super Dude. I think I remember. Was that
Super
what's
Dude.
another one? Yeah.
Yep. The Adventures of Super Dude.
There's Pierre
And,
Escargot.
They also had the theme song was written by TLC. That brings back the 90s,
Oh, that's right.
which is
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
because the album that came out in 94 that year was Crazy Sexy Cool. It was not a very good kids album. But
Well, they had
there
Coolio sing the theme song for Keenan and Kel.
they did, but Coolio, yeah, that's right. Coolio did Gangster's Paradise, and then he became, yeah. I just want to say this because I'm a music guy, off subject for real quick. But 1994 was interesting because they gave us SNICK. SNICK was becoming huge at this point. TLC does the theme song. And it's also the same year that their second album, Crazy Sexy Cool, comes out. And there is a skit on that Crazy Sexy Cool album. It's literally amazing. Where one of the girls in the group is talking sexy to a guy who calls her. And she is having an orgasm. She's masturbating and having an orgasm. And then all of a sudden, she says she's about to get ready to, and he goes, "What are you about getting ready to do, baby?" And she goes, "Wipe my ass." And she flushes the toilet. So it was a joke. She was
Well,
talking she was like, "Oh yeah, this is so big." Like literally, that's what Google this. It's amazing. She was like, "Oh my god, it's so big. Oh my lord!" And she's talking about pooping.
well,
And
going off the music, then another segment that I fucking loved. It was probably one of my favorites and all that, and it was the Spice Boys. Do you remember those? You remember those
yes,
guys?
yeah.
And the one that killed me, the absolute one that killed me, is Dead Spice, and it's just played by Skeleton. It always killed me. Like I can remember now, like them trying to address Dead Spice, and it would just cut to a skeleton in a chair. Oh man,
that was so great. And I mean, SNICK was always good, but my show for me, because I asked that question earlier, but my show for me, guys, always was Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, like that show always at a young age scared the living shit out of me. It was scary, and it was just like, oh my God, am I going to be able to sleep with my lights off tonight? Brother Brandon is a very interesting guy. He decided about a year ago to give me the first 2 seasons of Are You Afraid of the Dark on DVD. So all week in preparation for this show, I marathoned the fuck out of Are You Afraid of the Dark, the first 2 seasons.
Well, I was comfortable with giving you those because thankfully I came across an awesome sale on Vudu where they had all 10 volumes for like fucking $14, and I was like, cha-ching.
Yeah, right. Some of them hold up still to this day. Some of them do not hold up at all. But what a great idea, right? I mean, just a bunch of kids sitting around a campfire, talking about scary ghost stories, right? I mean,
I think I watched the only episode I really remembered from Are You Afraid of the Dark, because I didn't watch it a whole lot because it was scary, like you said. And I being an adult now, I think that it's at least for that episode where I saw it was a good. I thought it was a good kids version of the Twilight Zone.
Oh, good reference.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Because it did deal a lot with ghosts and different dimensions, and witchcraft was here and there. Like the actual monster stuff was actually very, very sparse.
See, the episode I remembered the most, and I couldn't remember the name, but I knew that I had to do like a bunch of reverse searching because I knew the kid that was in it was also in Billy Madison. So then I had to go through Billy Madison's cast list to find that particular kid. I didn't know his name, so I had to click on a bunch of them before I got to him. And he doesn't have a picture in his profile on IMDb, so that made it extra difficult. But I found it. I found it, and I watched the episode on Daily Motion last night, and it's the Ghastly Grinner. I don't know if you remember that one.
That one is great.
That's a good one.
I remember
that's the one that comes out of the comic book, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember it being terrifying as a kid, but watching it as an adult, it's hokey, but like it filled me with joy and happiness to watch it. Because I'm remembering what it felt like to watch the first time as I'm watching it through my current lens, and like
right.
I can see where I exaggerated things in my mind.
Oh yeah.
But that episode, just how it looks, is so fucking 90s. It's wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful.
It's almost like a 20-minute block, like an almost remembering it now, all of the colors and how it's like there's actually weird Dutch angles and stuff, and it's like it reminds me of just a 20-minute long juicer, like a juice commercial, like the juice crushers where you put the straw into the juice. That's always what it reminds me. Like, most of those episodes is what it reminds me of.
You see, the funny thing is because especially since you're talking about Afraid of the Dark, and of course with me marathoning it, every show had a lot of definitely like a lot of acute angles, right? The camera was always turned during the scary moments, and it was quite annoying. Since Ryan brought up his Afraid of the Dark, the one that I watched in the first 2 seasons this last week to prepare for the show was one of my favorite episodes was The Tale of the Prom Queen. And that one was, the story was in the 50s, a girl was supposed to meet a boy at a cemetery to be picked up to go to the prom, because you pick up every prom day from a cemetery. But he couldn't find her, so he got upset and he drove his car off a bridge and drowned. But the real story is he did not know that she got hit by a drunk driver. So every year on prom night, the prom queen is there waiting for him to arrive. And
cool.
it was just very fun, to go back to that episode.
Right.
It was just very cool to do that. Artie and the Afraid of the Dark was cool. The last thing I want to say about Artie and the Afraid of the Dark is we got more stuff to say about that show in later times. But I don't remember the year or how old I was, but there was a big thing on Artie and the Afraid of the Dark where they did specials. And there was a special where it was, Braden, you would laugh because I know you love the movie. It was literally a ripoff of The Fog.
Okay.
Like, if lawyers would see this, they would sue the creators of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So it was a 2-night special. It aired on a Friday night and a Saturday night. It was part 1 and 2. And it was all about this old man who stumbled upon a ship in the ocean, well, in the lake or an ocean, whatever, and he stole their gold. And every night... annually on this one night, the ghost of that ship would come to get him, to kill him, so he had to stay awake that night. He could not fall asleep, because if you fall asleep, then the ghost will get you.
Oh, okay.
And,
so almost kind of like a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street, too, in a sense.
And also, of course, the ghost came from Fog, and they were ghost pirates, and...
Oh, really?
All they wanted was their booty.
You got to have that booty.
Yeah. Do you guys remember any of these kind of like special events with SNICK at all? Or
I remember when they started doing TV movies based on their shows. Because I remember they had Keenan and Kel, and they had an Are You Afraid of the Dark movie. I think that might be.
Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. They had a Cousin Skeeter movie. Shelby Woo had her own movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
All Grown Up started as a movie.
What's All Grown Up? You guys have said that 3 times now. What's All Grown Up?
It's the Rugrats. They're teenagers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? You didn't know this?
Like the first
Is this
season.
even good?
The first season, the made-for-TV movie that started it, I really, when I was a kid, I really liked it. And I remember the first season being pretty good.
Is it good? Is it? I mean, really?
Maybe
are they teenagers, or are they like in
They're in like
are they like
school.
in junior high?
They're in middle school. I would say probably like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Really? It's called Rugrats All Grown Up, or just All Grown Up?
All Grown Up.
Just all grown up.
The TV movie's called Rugrats All. I think it's called Rugrats All Growed Up, but I think the TV series is All Grown Up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
that was
okay.
that actually was one. I think that was part of the end of the SNICK era. I think because it's got to be like, I want to say 03 or 04. That's probably when the SNICK era ended. But I do believe All Grown Up was part of the lineup actually for a little bit.
Yeah, because like the only thing that I remember, I was getting older at this point, boys, but it was like in the late 90s, and I remember loving the show Doug. And this has nothing to do with SNICK, but since you guys brought it up,
Doug's absolutely wonderful.
But then Doug was a Nickelodeon show, but then on Saturday mornings on ABC, like Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, one Saturday morning?
Yep.
Yeah.
One Saturday morning.
Yep.
Right? That was awesome. They had a Doug show where they're in high school.
Yeah, Disney's Doug. I didn't like Disney's Doug.
Yeah, and she was like, and high school was called BB Bluff High School, which didn't make any sense because I thought Doug was in high school in Nickelodeon, but he was not.
They're usually all middle schoolers in the Nicktoon.
Okay,
because they want us to relate to them because it's targeted towards adolescents, so they want them to, connect and all that jazz.
There's a few more shows I want to talk about with Snick. I want to talk about Ren and Stimpy more because Brandon brought that up, and of course we all know do not whiz on the electric fence.
Do not whiz on the
electric fence. I don't know if this is universal, but probably the best episode ever, guys, would be Space Madness.
Yeah, that was.
Are we talking Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy. Yeah.
Because all right, so that was like the one thing my mom would not let us watch when we were kids.
See, that's what I'm saying earlier. Like it sticks out like a sore thumb amongst all these other shows.
And I never got into Ren and Stimpy. I never really watched any of it. I watched the adult comedy hour on Spike.
That doesn't count.
I watched one episode of it and I was like, oh, okay, no. So if you guys if you guys talk about Ren and Stimpy, I know some things. I know there was that superhero that was a piece of bread, and the
powdered toast man.
Powdered toast man, and I know Happy Joy. But outside of that, I don't know anything about Ren and Stimpy.
Well, Space Madness was a big episode for Brother Brandon and I growing up. That was the main show. That was the main episode that Brother Brandon and I remember Brother Brandon and I really loving that episode. So this episode, the very short synopsis of it is that, in every episode of Ren and Stimpy, they're off doing some adventure. It doesn't make any sense. There's no continuity. But in this episode, Ren and Stimpy are astronauts. And there is a thing called Space Madness where, you go mad in space. And
don't they do that
the reason
in
why,
Armageddon? Isn't that a plot point
yes.
in Armageddon?
Yes,
you
which
see the
they
influence
took from Ren and
everywhere. Why did I not watch it as a kid?
I don't know. But what I remember killed Brother Brandon and I was Ren, who is the Chihuahua dog. He goes nuts with Space Madness, and he's obsessed with his ice cream chocolate bar. And he thinks it's an ice cream chocolate bar, but it's actually a bar of soap. And that's all he cares about is his ice cream chocolate bar. He talks to it. He plays with it. He pets it. He takes a bath with it. And he eats it. It's ridiculous. I mean, guys, these are episodes that makes me feel uncomfortable. They're so crazy.
Well, they would do this long before SpongeBob was doing it. They were doing it first where it was just those extreme, highly detailed close-ups. And, I can remember one where I believe it was Ren who loses all of his teeth and he's got, the nerve ending sticking out of his gums. And there's a really extreme close-up where he yanks out a nerve ending. And you're just like, oh, my God, I loved it. But at the same time, it's just how it's so detailed and the animation is so vibrant that when he yanks out that nerve ending, you feel it. I can remember still the skin crawling.
It was very graphic. It was just crazy. And then not only do you not whiz on the electric fence, you play with everybody's favorite toy. It's log.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking log. It's crazy. The most ironic show would be Pete and Pete, right? I mean, that show is clearly grunge, Alanis Morissette era.
Oh, yeah, that's early 90s. That is early 90s, especially with the editing and the intro to it. That's what you saw everywhere in the 90s.
I know, right? I mean, did you guys actually really like Pete and Pete, or was that just something that you got into later? I mean, because I remember Pete and Pete was kind of a hard thing to come by when I was growing up because I got into SNICK a little bit later.
Right. I mean, starting off once they started airing for a little bit more of the reruns. Before that, I only really knew Pete and Pete through the shorts. They would have little shorts in between. One show would end, and they would have a quick little short block, and then before the next show started. I can remember those more than anything, but then once they started doing reruns, of course, one they showed all the time, especially during Halloween, was the Valentine's Day Massacre, which made no sense sometimes, but I think it's because it was, it had massacre in the title. It would just be shown. But I can remember that one being played all the time.
I always remembered from Pete and Pete, the woodshop teacher always had a claw because he had a missing arm. Missing hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, there's not much I can remember. There's, I think there's an episode called The Nightcrawlers. I remember something about, it revolves around this whole there's a conspiracy about staying up past 11 at bedtime or something like that. I can't remember.
You cannot stay up past 11. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
No.
Halloweeny was another one that I can remember quite a bit. There's something to do with a little Viking. There's fragments. There's fragments I can remember.
I can only remember. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I can only remember. I remember two things from Pete and Pete. The episode where the garbage men go on strike.
Yep.
And then something about a payphone and I think a dude's cheating on his wife or something. Like little Pete keeps answering the payphone.
Yeah, I see. None of that is really like ringing a bell. I don't know about this one. This one, Jordan, I'm actually gonna have to like go back and try to watch some of these because it's a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only there is one I kind of remember only because it's pretty much a stark parody of Stand By Me, and it's I don't remember the title of it, but I do remember it's literally a parody. It's the Pete and Pete parody of Stand By Me, and it's something to do with a lucky penny, and it runs out of luck one day, and it's there's something about having to go and make sure it gets recharged, I think. So it's like their journey, like Stand By Me, to go try and recharge it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, like, Pete and Pete was something that I guess I was just too young to get, but a show that I did not get too young to get going into the mid area of SNICK, which Brother Brandon and I were talking about earlier tonight. Kablam!
Oh my God, Kablam!
And my favorite segment of Kablam was Action League Now.
Yeah.
Best friend Ryan, do you remember Kablam? Do you remember Action League Now at all?
Yeah, no, I remember Kablam. I was never a fan of it. I do remember, like you guys mentioned earlier, Prometheus and Bob Tate. I remember Action League Now. I think the only part of Action League Now that I liked was that every episode that one character melted, like his face melted.
Well, yeah, because he's Meltman.
Meltman. Yeah. I remember that. I always enjoyed that. But like overall, I don't know. I never really got into Kablam.
I liked the Flesh was my favorite, only because he was naked. and it inspired me to be naked more.
Right, and I always talked about Brother Brandon tonight about how, and then every episode they always got hit by a car.
Yeah,
and there were pieces of toys everywhere. That was crazy. Was Hey Arnold ever a part of SNICK?
I think we should have an episode where we talk about Nicktoons. Because I think that that would cover Doug, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Rugrats, SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, like a whole slew of them.
I don't know anything about Fairly Odd Parents. How about this? I stopped watching Nickelodeon and SNICK when the Wild Thornberrys started. I was too old at that point.
Wow,
really?
I don't know what was that, 99, 2000. I was too old. The last two shows that I remember watching, and I don't know if this goes with SNICK or not, but the last two shows that I watched religiously before I was quote unquote too old was Rocket Power.
Okay.
Which is a classic, and then Real Monsters.
Those are two different. Those are two different eras of the Nicktoons.
Yeah, I mean, they're two different eras, but those are the last two shows I remember because I remember later on when Brother Brandon started to get, because Brother Brandon's 3 years younger than me, he was watching Invader Zim.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob and shit, and that stuff never really appealed to me because I was in junior high school. I was too old.
Oh man, I fucking love Invader Zim so much. And I think that to go off what you said about Fairly Odd Parents, I think they all came out around the same time because SpongeBob was 99, right?
I think it was
Yep,
98.
he's still
98.
Close enough.
So I want to say Fairly Odd Parents had to have been maybe, if anything, 2000, 2001. Had to be around, because that's when Invader Zim, I think, was 01.
nice. So before we close out the show, I wanted to talk about some of the fun stuff with SNICK, some of the games they had, and I did bring up the Nick or Treat. But there was one thing that I brought up to Best Friend Ryan last week, and he thought it was pretty cool. Brandon, do you remember Smell-O-Vision with SNICK?
I remember it. I was never able to participate in it.
So what Smell-O-Vision is to the fans is that you went to a gas station, and your parents bought you literally a scratch-off lottery ticket, essentially. And it was for SNICK only. And then where like the dollar sign would be to scratch off would be the face of the character of a show. So if you were watching Ren and Stimpy and the image on the card was Ren and Stimpy, and it said on the show on SNICK, you need to scratch your ticket. This is when Stimpy is eating his litter box. You would scratch it off, and you would smell shit. You know, like you would be actually a part of the show with smelling. That was a big deal.
Why doesn't TV bring that back?
Because Nickelodeon was amazing in the 90s, and it will never be like that again. Nothing will ever be.
You know, like I want to smell SpongeBob's burp. Like, I'm just curious to know what it smells like, and they need to bring that back. Well,
like because I was telling Best Friend Ryan, one of the things for Are You Afraid of the Dark was when the show started, you scratched off the ticket and it smelled like a bonfire.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean? So you were there. You know, for Hey Arnold, you scratched it off and it smelled like dirty trash.
It smelled like...
you know, dirty, stereotypical city. You know, like.
Scratch here to smell a bum.
Yes, smell this bum. Hey, you want to smell Stoop Kid's feet? Scratch it here. Yeah, it's that was always fun, and that's why I think SNICK was always good. Was just because it got kids involved.
Now there were other shows we didn't touch on. I remember the titles to them, but one I remember the titles to both. One I remember a lot because of the books. One, I just remember the title but never really watched the show. But I always remember The Secret World of Alex Mack as being one. I never got around to watching that show. The other one, I don't think it lasted long, but I believe Animorphs was on there at one point too. But I don't really remember the show as I remember more of the books.
I don't remember anything about Animorphs, the show. I remember the books, but Secret World of Alex Mack, we can talk about that for a second. That is a ripoff of Toxic Avenger for a kid version.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The first episode is she's a normal girl, and she's walking home from school, and a pickup truck carrying barrels of toxic waste through suburban America hits a rock or something, and a barrel literally falls on her, dumping toxic waste all over her.
Nice.
She doesn't change on the outside at all.
Her physical appearance never changes.
Physical appearance stays the same, but she can move things with her mind.
Oh, some telekinesis.
Can't she turn into like a puddle of something? And like
She turned into a very, very pre-Abyss looking puddle kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how she sneaks into places. And there's like this whole government conspiracy thing that's overarching the whole show. Like her dad is a scientist and he gets, like at some point he gets kidnapped or something like that.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a title I always remember being hurled around at school, but for some reason I don't think I was ever able to get around to it, or by the time I started really watching, I think it was off of the block by then.
Well, but you know what? It was kind of like Harriet the Spy. Remember Nickelodeon's Harriet the Spy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie.
It was that, but she had, but she was Carrie.
Gotcha.
And then, like, of course, best friend Ryan's right. You know, she would like be able to morph into this silver ooze that anybody could see, a giant puddle of silver ooze coming at them.
Right.
And she would sneak in to try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that was what it was. And I think like her best friend knew that she had the powers, but nobody else did.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, by time I was really, really getting into SNICK, it was the blocks were filled up more with cartoons because I mean that's when I really found out about Cat Dog and the Angry Beavers as well. And I remember they were always part of that lineup.
Yeah, oh my God, I don't like Cat Dog. The very last thing I want to talk about, and this leads into SNICK, but
you guys don't want to talk about Cousin Skeeter? That was the one show I was wanting to talk about.
I don't remember a single episode, but
was Cousin Skeeter the African American family show?
It was African American, but it wasn't really about the family. There was a show. Okay. There was a show with a black family. I think in Atlanta, but I don't remember what it's called. But it's not Cousin Skeeter. So
okay.
I wasn't ever a huge fan of Cousin Skeeter. I just thought it was like a great premise. So this cousin named Skeeter, he moved in. I do believe it's inner city New York City, but I'm not 100% sure because it's a kids show, so they can't really like show that stuff. But like he moves in with his cousin, played by it's like Robert Richard or something like that. I always remember his name was Robert Richard, but it was like fancier. And
okay.
So Robert Richard's a normal teenage kid going through his drama and all this stuff, and his cousin Skeeter is a puppet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But nobody ever mentions the fact that he's a puppet. Like he's treated like a real person.
Oh, Robert. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. He's in he's in the House of Wax remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I always thought it was fascinating. Nobody ever mentioned he was a puppet. Like I can remember being like 11 or 12 thinking like that's a puppet. But he's, everybody's treating like this is pretty cool. And I remember there's an episode, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember this one episode where he has this girl from he had a girlfriend back home, and she comes to visit because they broke up when he moved, but she thinks like he's the love of her life. Now they're like 14, 15-year-old kids. And so I remember it was the first time I'd ever heard the phrase sparks fly.
Nice.
I don't know why it sticks with me. Like, this is one of those things that you can't really, you don't really understand why you remember it. But I remember that episode because, like, when they kissed, sparks flew. And I remember, and I thought it was great that the whole joke, that the episode leads to one joke. It's building up to this one joke. And the joke is, she shows a picture of their first kiss, and she says she remembers sparks flying. And she remembers sparks flying because it was the 4th of July.
Oh, that's clever. That's funny. I like that.
No, I don't. I'm honest, Ryan. I don't remember that show at all. Like nothing rings a bell.
I don't remember the show, but I do remember. Well, I mean, I guess I do, but I remember there was a Nickelodeon show where it was a puppet, and nobody realized what it was a puppet. And then I just said to myself, "Oh, so this is the kid version of Alf."
Okay.
This is also in like 2002, 2003. So you would have been, post puberty.
I was 2002. I was 16 years old, so I probably didn't even pay attention.
I would think you were post puberty by that point.
No, I'm 30 years old. I just wiped my own ass like 2 days ago. It was amazing.
Well, like that's not puberty. That's like a maturity thing.
Oh. Well, then I guess
we are missing one more thing that happened on SNICK, and this was early 2000s. So this is where I can always remember these parts. It was called shit. And now I can't remember what it's called. Something with daring. Like there was Dare segment. You remember that?
Oh, like the live where they would all that cast.
Yeah. There was these segments where like the one I can always remember is something to do with toenails, eating a lot of toenails.
So it was like their version of Fear Factor.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, like eat this disgusting thing, do this disgusting thing.
Yeah. I can.
Gotcha.
I just there's like a couple of things I can remember on that. God damn! I wish I knew. I wish I had better memory on this shit.
Well, that's okay. Because the one thing I think we'll all have memory on, hopefully, this is the last time I want to talk about, because once a year, it was a big ordeal. For me, I don't know about you guys, but after SNICK on Saturday night, once a year, you had the Kids' Choice Awards.
Oh, that still goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it still goes on, and the award was Orange Blimp.
Oh, yeah.
It is, I do believe.
And they would have celebrities come on, and they would get slimed. The reason I'm bringing this up is because Kids' Choice Awards is when I got introduced to the band Aerosmith. So, but they were performed, and it was great because I will never forget this. This is when I discovered that I was too old. It was 1999-2000, and it was the 99-2000 Kids' Choice Awards, and I was excited, and I couldn't wait. Rosie O'Donnell was always the host for some damn reason. And they said at the end of the Kids' Choice Awards at midnight, we're going to premiere our new show. And they kept it hidden. Like, you didn't know what the show was. And the show premiered at midnight, and it was Cat Dog. And that's the moment when I turned.
Cat Dog turned you?
Yes. Cat Dog turned me.
Okay, Nickelodeon, you've gone too far, okay? You've combined a cat and a dog, and how'd they poop? How did they poop, Nickelodeon?
It wasn't a poop thing.
I'm done, Nickelodeon.
I just thought it was a bad show. And God bless On Demand. I have it here with our local cable provider, so I could see some of these old shows. And I watched an episode of Cat Dog last night just to kind of prepare for this, and I'm just like, wow, no wonder why I hated the show. This is terrible.
It was bad.
Dude,
we can save
it.
We can save it for the Nicktoons episode. I just demanded that we have.
Fine, we'll demand it for that. But SNICK is ultimately better.
You can tear the new asshole then, Jordan.
I guess I can. But ultimately, SNICK was something that was fun. And I really wish, since they just revived TRL, and since Viacom is owned by MTV, and also Nickelodeon, that they need to bring back SNICK. It was great for kids then. It'll be great for kids now. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have a whole episode talking about it. Right? SNICK is amazing. So, thank you, everybody, so much for downloading our episode here for SNICK. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. You can search for us at movieguyspodcast.com. On iTunes, type in Movie Guys Podcast. You'll see the show's called PodPast Presents. And also on Twitter under the hashtag of Movie Guys Podcast and PodPast. But we'll be back next week for another fun, awesome episode going back down memory lane. But this is Jordan, along with brother Brandon and best friend Ryan. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Everybody.
Or is there? Tune in for another tale of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Tomorrow at 7:30, 6:30 Central on Nickelodeon.
Because the real terror never begins until night falls.
SNICK is over. But SNICK will be back in just 166 hours and counting. See you next week on SNICK.